Hey guys, how you doing today? Another episode of Ask the Wizard Unplugged. What if your, I put it in quotes, I'm going to add a bit more to it. What if your greatest weakness was actually your superpower? I seen a post this morning, I think it was on Instagram or something like that. The quote was something about their softness was their greatest strength, or it might have even been their softness was their superpower. And that got me to thinking. I'm thinking many of you who know me know that I have a heart that's about this big, and it is soft. It is. I posted, I can't remember whether it was a post I did a while ago, and I can't even remember what it was referring to, but I said the phrase, I inherited a heart that won't harden from my father and a will that won't break from my mother. And that's so incredibly true and accurate. And sometimes I think for myself that heart that feels so much, I almost look at it. I often, sometimes, look at it as almost like a weakness. I'll use that word, and it's like you sort of almost wish that it wasn't that way. And I think sometimes the world looks at it that way. That whatever your greatest weakness is, that maybe that's how you view it, as a weakness. And maybe that's how the world views it. It is a weakness or a fault, or that something that needs to be corrected, or something that needs to be excused for, right? Apologized for. But that post got me to thinking again, what if it's the exact opposite? Years ago, when I was still teaching and traveling, I remember this really clearly. I was in Revelstoke, BC. I took the bus there. That's when they still had Greyhound buses. I was waiting to catch the bus. It was a warm, sunny morning. And I did these little video posts called Got a Minute Video. And I talked about thinking, quote unquote, crazy thoughts. And the example I use, so just contemplating an absolute crazy thought, because what it does is it helps us get outside of this box that we've created, allowed to be created, on and on, that we only think certain thoughts, and we don't even contemplate other ones because they're crazy, they're wrong, they're over and over and over. And so I said, just imagine, what would it be like if the grass was blue and the sky was green? And that's like a ridiculous statement to say. And I'm not saying you try and convince yourself that that's the case, but just kind of holding that thought in your awareness. What would it be like if the sky was green and the grass was blue? And simply by choosing to sort of step outside of this predefined box for a while. And again, I'm not saying you got to convince yourself that's the case, because it's not, but just stepping outside the box for a little while, because you know what? When you're in that sort of frequency range, two things happen. This is just now flowing here. Two things happen. The first thing is you get to be now outside this box of your thoughts and look at it rather than inside it, being surrounded by it. And that will often give you insights, a different perspective, as opposed to being inside this box. And the second one is, when you're outside that box and the crazy thoughts, you might just notice and discover some other thoughts that are out there, some possibilities, some different ways of looking at things that maybe aren't so crazy, that maybe is the answer you're looking for, that maybe is the change that you're looking for. You just couldn't see them because you're stuck inside the box. So what if your greatest quote unquote weakness is actually your superpower? And maybe the reason that it doesn't feel that way is because your external circumstances, have told you that it is a fault. It's something that needs to be corrected. It's something that needs to be explained away. It's something that needs to be hidden away. And maybe the reason that it feels like a character flaw, if you want to call it that way, is because you've been told for so many years that it is. What if that's the reason that causes you the issues that it does? And what if, just for the moment, you decide that it's actually your superpower? Or just sit with that. Don't take it any further than that. Just sit with that. Just see how it feels. Because maybe that'll change the way you look at it. Maybe that will change the way you use it. Maybe that will change the way you manage it. And in doing that, maybe it changes everything. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Ask the Wizard. Unplugged.